people in various communities. Please enjoy.
It's funny, I have these huge goals. We live in a really nice home. My husband's an ER doctor, and I do well, and we have all these things. But it's funny, you asked me that question, just sitting on her front porch, just a little tiny small town in Lawton, Oklahoma, would be one of my happier memories. Going to the beach with family. It's funny, when you ask those questions, it's typically not monetary things. It's memories. It's time with people that you love.
As a collegiate athlete, salesperson, wife, and mother, Emily Phillips' drive to succeed has been evident in every aspect of her life. She used the same determination to find a solution, which in turn helped thousands of other medical professionals to protect their families.
What do I think makes a great entrepreneur? Somebody that can think outside the box. I'm psychologically unemployable. I have a hard time working in an office. I never have worked in an office. I could never work somewhere where there's like a ceiling where I couldn't get past it, like just a salary job. That just doesn't work for me. I like to be able to do things where I have control of how well they go. That's just my personality. There are some people out there that are very happy with a steady salary, 9-to-5 job. They come home, they turn off, but I never turn off. I'm very transparent on social media. I'm very real, very genuine. My life is pretty much on social media, probably a little bit too much, but where that has helped me is that I have a really good following. You don't just see the good things happening. I mean, I try to post mostly positive things, but I talk about real struggles and challenges. I love to be a part of groups with women. So I think for women, it's just this constant guilt complex of, I'm not spending enough time with my kids, I'm not spending enough time on my dreams, and I'm not spending enough time with my regular job, or I'm not spending enough time with my physical fitness and my diet, all the things that we're expected to do. It can be really overwhelming to the point where you could just crash altogether. We are expected to do it all. And no offense against men. I love men. I'm married to one. But typically, men, they are expected to work. And that's it. My parents always encouraged me to play tennis because my mom enjoyed tennis. But I think athletics is super important to young girls, whether it be tennis, soccer, cheerleading, tumbling, karate, whatever, because it helps with the competitive aspect. It helps with socialization. It helps with confidence. It helps with physical fitness and activities, being able to get along with the group. Like, I think that I learned a lot through that in my life. My husband is an ER physician, and when this whole COVID thing happened in March, I think none of us knew what we were dealing with. I mean, I think for me, that was the scariest part. I'm like, I don't even know what we're dealing with. This is brand new. I don't know, how do you get it? Like, does somebody cough on him and he brings it home? I mean, I recently had a baby. He's 10 months old now, but at the time he was 6 months. I have a son with asthma, and I have a little 5-year-old daughter. And I have asthma. And so I didn't know what I was dealing with. And so I just started thinking to myself, okay, he sees 100 to 150 patients a day. And he's going to then come home and walk in the kitchen and put his stuff down. And he's probably going to have COVID all over him. We don't know. I certainly don't want to get this. What are we going to do? So I thought, well, am I going to move? Are we going to buy another house? Am I going to live in a hotel? Then the hotels were shutting down. And I was like, okay, well, I couldn't go to my parents because I didn't know if I'd already been exposed, and they're older. So actually, I was talking to my mom about it because we were really kind of stressing out about this. And she said, well, why don't you see if somebody has an RV that you can rent while this was going on? And I thought, that's an interesting idea. So I just did a post on Facebook and said, does anybody have an RV that we could rent and just put it in our yard so that my husband can come home and stay on property but not expose us to the virus? And immediately, one of my friends, her husband and her live here in Salina, texted me and said, my girlfriend has one. She just wants to give it to you. Her name was Holly Haggard. And I thought, well, that's amazing. And I called Jason and I said, this lady wants to give us her RV as long as we want it. At first, he was kind of like, I don't know if I could live in an RV, but I think he realized he was a little concerned too. So he said, okay. So we drove over there to get it and we met our super nice family. And as we were driving home, I saw a post on a mom's group of another ER doctor's wife asking for the same thing. So I thought, and her husband actually worked in even a more scary place, downtown Dallas, where it's more like Chicago, like more people. So I thought, well, I better give her this one if it's okay with Holly, and I'll just go find another one. So I called her and said, you can have this one. I'll find another one. And sure enough, within 5 minutes, one of my friends said, my sister has an RV that they'll give you. And I thought, well, I think we're onto something. So I started manually matching people myself just from Facebook. And I probably matched 15 to 20 people, the healthcare worker, with someone donating the RV. And I thought, let's create a group. So we came up with a name. One of my friends helped me come up with a name, RVs for MDs. And it just exploded. It was as if God put his hand on our back and said, I want you to move as fast as you can, and I'm going to do everything, and you just go crazy with this. So we had all these people from all over the country, in the world, standing up and offering their homes for these healthcare workers to quarantine in. And it was beautiful because it impacted not just the donator, but it impacted the healthcare worker. And then we had hundreds of thousands of volunteers step up and help manually match these donors, and like 24/7 with no pay. It was like a Fortune 500 company came together. Nobody cared if you were a Republican or a Democrat. Nobody cared if you were black or white. Like, this was like the most unbelievable thing. I can't explain it to you. Those 3 months, this like family comes together, and we created all of this, and we got over 2,000 matches. And we felt that every time we made a match, we were potentially saving thousands of lives. Because if you think about it, if that healthcare worker infects his family and then they go to Walmart, then they infect people, and it just multiplies. The people that I relate to and deal with, I think, have seen a new side of me. You know, I'm not just a salesperson. I actually want to help people, and I'm really good at starting things and igniting a fire. But I think it taught me, what it's like to actually do something for the community without getting anything in return. I mean, but you do get something in return. It's just so much more than money. I've always wanted to do something, but I never knew what to do. I never knew how to help. I never knew, besides donating financially, I never knew really what I could do to help out, and so I feel like I was able to do something. But it was so much more than just helping people flatten the curve, if that's what we did. It was about bringing people together during such a dark time.
Just what is it that makes a great romantic film? Is it a lingering kiss, a memorable song, or is it a gesture that makes words unnecessary?
Movies, I think, was really founded